Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, empowering the good, and we love talking about Junior League of Memphis. We have a big summit to announce, the 2023 Develop Her Women's Summit. We'll talk all about it. We're honored to be joined by Jessie Wiley. She is a member of the Junior League of Memphis, and she's the chair of the 2023 Develop Her Women's Summit. How are you doing, Jessie?
Hey, Jeremy, I'm doing great. It's great to see you. I can't wait to share some good news about the Junior League.
Absolutely. Well, good news indeed in terms of what you all do with the summit, but most importantly, every single day, powering the good. So let's start with Junior League of Memphis. Give us some background on the organization.
Absolutely. We do power the good. We are an organization of women. We are focused on advancing leadership for meaningful community impact. So we achieve our goals through volunteer action, through collaboration with community partners, and through training and developing the potential of women. So we just celebrated 100 years of service to the Mid-South. We had a big centennial celebration blowout event in December. And I can't wait to see what the next 100 years hold for the Junior League. Right now, we have about 1,300 total members, women from diverse backgrounds, diverse levels in their career or community involvement, diverse ages, and I am proud to be one of them.
Absolutely. So give us a little bit of detail in terms of how the process works. So for a woman who says, hey, I want to get involved, I want to serve, I want to learn, I want to be plugged in, talk about the process.
Absolutely. Yes. If you want to be involved as a woman, we would love to have you. So what you would do, you would express interest on our website, jlmemphis.org, or get in touch with someone you know who is in the league. And you would start your provisional year. That's your first year trying out the league, seeing how you want to get plugged in. I kind of like to consider it one of those choose your own adventure books. You really get to see, what path within the league you would like to take. So once you wrap up that provisional year, you get to choose, I want to be involved in this community project, or I want to be involved in strengthening the league in this way. And that is what you do as an active member. So I've been an active member for over 12 years now. Gosh, it's been more than a decade. Time flies when you're having fun in the league, I'll tell you that. And there's been a lot of different levels of involvement that I have experienced over the course of this past decade plus 2 years, really. And it's been a great time. And then at one point, I will become a sustainer, which means I have served a certain level of years within the league, and it's time to keep supporting the league, but take a little bit of a step back as far as the day-to-day or week-to-week involvement goes.
There's so much in terms of the networking, the collaboration, the relationship building side. There's also the philanthropic leadership and, the ability to be exposed to so many different nonprofits and organizations, to serve in leadership roles, to learn effective leadership, servant leadership, working with these nonprofits, and then just leadership and skills and team building, all of these things that you all do. What are some of your favorite elements when, you talk about being a member? What are some of your favorite pieces of Junior League of Memphis?
Well, obviously, one of my favorite things about being in the league are the members themselves, getting to know women, having really powerful relationships with people who you did not even know the year before, right? So I've gotten to know so many women that I might not have interacted with on a daily basis without the league. And I would say there's something very special about experiencing, giving back to the community through one of our nonprofit partners alongside women who are like-minded and wanting to give back. So that's been a special experience for sure over the past decade. I have a lot of highlights that I could share. I mean, how much time do you have, Jeremy? Because we could be here all day talking about how much I love the league and how many great moments there have been. throughout my time there. And again, it's just one of those very engaging organizations that has a very structured way of giving back that without the league might be confusing for somebody who is looking to volunteer.
Yeah, and there's been so many nonprofits that have actually been formed out of the work that Junior League of Memphis does. So there's quite a legacy, when you look at the impact you're having and have had, over 100 years of serving in the Mid-South. Give me one thing, because this will then switch us over to the enrichment, the education, the workshops, the summit. Give me something that, when you talk about your ability to learn in Junior League of Memphis and how that applies to help you be more successful with your service. Give me something that you've learned that's really helped transform the way you go about your day, your professional career.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm so glad you asked, because in my career, I work with an organization called SERVES. We support people with disabilities throughout the Mid-South. And I will say it was actually about 10 years ago, one of my placements, which means a community partnership within the league, was with an organization now called Thrive Memphis, but at the time it was called Exceptional Foundation. And they support people with disabilities. And there was a very distinct moment for me personally where I got to experience giving back through that organization. And I did not have experience with the disability field prior to that moment. So now looking back, again, 10 years, that's part of my career. That's part of my day-to-day life. And that spark really started for me within my league placement. So that's a personal testimony. And then I will say too, in terms of education, there are so many ways that as an individual member, you can choose how to impact your learning, your leadership development, your community involvement. So we have a very robust training program throughout the year with topics that vary from financial wellness to creating a vision board, to life hacks, to just networking and connecting with women that can really enhance your life as an individual and as a member of the league.
And I think that's the picture that I want everyone to understand is you look at, yes, there's the networking and the relationship building and that component, which is extremely important. But two is there is a very robust learning and enrichment series that goes on for personal and professional development and servant leadership, just like you're talking about in terms of plugging in to be a catalyst with the nonprofits to help really lift our community. So there's a lot of power in everything that you're doing that goes back to powering the good, just like we talked about. So let's switch over and talk about the summit. Before we dive into this year's summit, give us a little bit of an overview overall with the summit so we have some perspective.
Yes, over the past 7 years, we have planned this Women's Summit, and it has certainly grown and grown and has reached more audience than ever before. So the summit is a day full of inspiration and learning and empowerment for women in the Mid-South. You do not have to be a league member to attend. We invite all women and men, honestly, if they would like to come. We're not going to leave them out. They can come too. So it's a summit that has taken place every year and it has built on momentum for the past 7 years. And we're really thrilled to be continuing that event on Friday, March 31st this year.
So let's go ahead and dive into the details and how it works. So we're talking about the 2023 Develop Her Women's Summit, and HER is an acronym. So go ahead and dive in and give us the main information we need to know, and then we'll talk all about the keynotes and the speakers and everything else. So let's start with the overall logistics and basics.
Yes. Friday, March 31st. Develop Her stands for Healing, Empowerment, and Results. And this is our signature event. So this year we will be at the Hilton East Memphis. It's a beautiful venue, and this is the first year that we will be at Hilton because we have outgrown our previous venue, which is great news. We have a day full of engaging speakers, women from across the Mid-South at different levels within their career, women who have really focused on empowering others. So we cannot wait to engage with a great group of leaders throughout the day. There will be keynote sessions, breakout sessions, so you can kind of, again, create your own adventure within the Develop Her Summit. And of course, a little bit of shopping, a little bit of fun. We have a vendor hall. So you can come get some jewelry, get some gift items, get some information from some of our awesome vendors. One of my favorites, Kendra Scott, has joined us many years now, and they're so generous. They actually give back a lot of the proceeds that they raise from the summit back to the league. So if you shop at the Develop Her Women's Summit, it is for a good cause.
Absolutely. So go ahead and tease. You mentioned some of the different topics. You have local speakers, you have national speakers as well. So give us a little bit of a tease on the speaker side.
Yes. So we're thrilled to host a luncheon panel with some women entrepreneurs in the Mid-South. We're really focused on that entrepreneur spirit. So even if you don't think that being an entrepreneur or starting a business is your pathway, there's still a spirit to that entrepreneur drive and momentum that will be presented during our luncheon panel. One of our speakers will be Mary Olds, who is the owner of Muggin Coffee House in Whitehaven, and she's a good friend. We cannot wait also to host our keynote speaker, DeShauna Barber, or should I say Dr. DeShauna Barber. DeShauna is a former Miss USA and a former Army captain in the Army Reserve. She's actually the first Miss USA to be serving in the active duty military. So she is awesome. She has a powerful story to tell. She's an entrepreneur. She's a women's rights advocate, a military veteran advocate. She travels the world speaking. So we cannot wait to host her in Memphis and to hear her story and walk away with some of her drive and her inspiration.
Very cool. You mentioned the entrepreneurial spirit, that thread. And as you mentioned, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to, have that spirit. And you talk about creativity, inspiration, motivation, all of these things that go with that. What do you hope that attendees walk away experiencing and kind of take away from the experience overall with the summit?
That's a great question. And I know from my previous experience as an attendee at the Women's Summit that I have walked away feeling more impassioned and empowered than ever. The next day you go back to your day job, or our event's on a Friday. So you take the weekend off, and then Monday you go back to your job and you just feel a renewed sense of self. You have some new connections that you might want to follow up with from that day. You feel empowered to take on new things. So I personally have felt very excited when I have left the Women's Summit. It's actually one of the reasons why I have chosen to take the path as one of the lead volunteers in planning for this event, because I loved it so much. And I was like, I want to do more for this great event.
That's awesome. And like you said, the fact that you're in there with like-minded women and individuals who, want to make a difference, you're building out your support network and you're building these relationships here in the Mid-South that lead to new opportunities for everyone. And so carry that into tickets. Where do we go to look at sponsorships, tickets? How do we plug in?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. Yes. So you can visit our website, which is developherws.org. Again, developherws, which stands for womensummit.org. And you can buy tickets. We actually have an early bird drive through January 31st. So if you want to get your ticket for a little bit of a discount, go now. And then you can also buy a table of 10 if you want to be the hero of your friend group, or if you want some brownie points at your job, you can get a table of 10, invite your friends, invite your colleagues. We would love to see you there. developherws.org.
And then talk about the main website for Junior League of Memphis for those who want to learn more, especially about memberships and look at the year-round calendar and other opportunities to plug in, because you do a lot all throughout the year. And so talk about where else we can go to be in the loop, to be in the know about Junior League of Memphis.
Yes, we are on all the social channels too. So you can just type in Junior League Memphis and we'll probably pop up. Our social channels are really fun. You can get a kind of behind the scenes peek at what we're doing. And then certainly if you want to get involved, please let us know. Go to jlmemphis.org and you can learn how to start that provisional year, how to come to some of our recruitment events, and how to get engaged with open events like the Develop Her Women's Summit.
So once again, the 2023 Develop Her Women's Summit, it is Friday, March 31st. So mark your calendars, get your tickets, and support Junior League of Memphis for all they do to power the good. So Jessie, thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeremy.